converting quadratic equations between different forms. By the end of this video, you should be able to convert between vertex form and standard form and intercept form and standard form. So let's take a look. When I give you the equation in this form, this is called vertex form because we can clearly see the vertex of 4, -2. That's the advantage of the vertex form. But we want to change from this form into our standard form, which is ax squared plus bx plus c. In order to do that, we will need to be able to multiply and combine like terms. So when we look at this entire parenthesis is being squared. So what that's really saying is write that parenthesis 2 times. From here, we've got a lot of multiplying to do. So there's a couple of different ways to approach this. So far, the most popular way that most students see is they go, oh, this 3 needs to distribute into this parenthesis. That is correct, so we can do that. So we get 3x minus 12. Now, it is still in a parenthesis because this entire parenthesis has to multiply to this entire parenthesis. So now we have times x minus 4, and we have minus 2. So this is really a review of things that we've done. We're multiplying our binomials. So now we're going to take 3x times x, which will give us 3x squared. Then we have 3x times -4, which gives you -12x. Then you have -12 times x, which is -12x. And then you have -12 times -4, which is positive 48. And that brings us to the end of the multiplying of the binomials, but there's still a -2, so we're going to write -2 onto there. All right? Once all the multiplying is done, what is left to be done is combine like terms. So we're just looking for things that go together. We're looking, is there another x squared term? When I look along here, there's not. So we're going to just bring the 3x squared down unchanged. It doesn't have anybody to combine with. But when I take a look, I have this is really an x to the first, and this is an x to the first. Those are like terms. We're going to combine them together by following their signs. So this says -12x minus 12 more x, which is going to give us -24x. And then I have two constants. I have a positive 48 and a -2. And 48 minus 2 is a positive 46. Now we are in the standard form. Ax squared plus bx plus c. All right? So let's try this. We're going to skip down to number 3 and kind of take a look. This is if we give it to you in the equation form. It's in vertex. Please put it in standard form. Sometimes we give you a description that includes the vertex. So if the description is talking about the vertex, we're going to write this in vertex form, and then we'll convert it to standard form. So this says write a quadratic function in standard form that opens down and has a vertex of -5, 2. We'll open down. So we have, this is our vertex form. Open down means we have a negative sign out front. They don't talk about stretch or shrink, so we don't have any number to put in for a other than 1, and you don't have to write a 1. It's an understood 1 there. Then we have x minus whatever the x value of the vertex is. So it's x minus -5, so it becomes x plus 5 squared, and plus k, which is just plus 2. So when they give you a description that includes the vertex, that means write it in vertex form. So now we're in vertex form, but what the problem really asked for was standard form. So now it's not any different than the problem that we did right here. We're going to attack it the exact same way. So we have negative, and then we're going to say x plus 5 times x plus 5 plus 2. There's a couple different ways that we can attack this. We can use it the same way. We can distribute. Remember, that's really a -1. So we can send this through to this parenthesis. Now remember, this entire parenthesis is still multiplying to the next parenthesis. So we'll want to keep it in a parenthesis so we can multiply. So -1 times x is -x. -1 times 5 is -5. Then we still have the x plus 5 and the plus 2. Now that we're down to here, we're going to multiply these two binomials. So we have negative x times x, which gives us negative x squared. Then we have negative x times a positive 5, which gives us negative 5x. Negative 5 times x is another negative 5x. And negative 5 times positive 5 gives us a negative 25. And you still have the plus 2 on the end, so we'll bring it down. Now we're looking to combine like terms. This is an x squared. When I look along here, there are no other x squared terms, so go ahead and bring him down and change. So it will remain negative x squared. This is x to the first, and this is also x to the first. These are like terms, so we're going to add or subtract based on their signs. So this is negative 5x minus 5 more x gives us negative 10x. And then I have a constant that is negative 25 plus 2. So negative 25 plus 2 is negative 23. Ax squared plus bx plus c, we are in standard form. Those were both taking vertex form to standard form. The other way that we're asking you to work these today is going from intercept form. So here's an example of intercept form where you have some a value and 2 parentheses. Remember, intercept form is really factored form. Okay, so we were doing this. I would give you the equation in standard form and you'd factor it out and you would write it like this. Now I'm just asking you to go back to standard form, and if you look at that, this right here is really no different than what we had going on right there at that situation. They're very much identical, so we had to decide what we were going to multiply, and most times people like to take that number on the outside and go ahead and send it through, so we'll do the same thing. So we have 7 times 2x gives us 14x. Then you have 7 times 2 is 14. Now this still has to be in a parenthesis because this whole parenthesis has to multiply to the next one according to the original problem. So we got to keep it there. And then we'll bring down our x plus 2. And we don't have any plus or minus out here on the end, so we don't have to worry about that. Now we're going to multiply our binomials. We have 14x times x, or 14x squared. 14x times 2 gives you 28x. 14 times x gives you 14x, and 14 times positive 2 gives you positive 28. Now we're just combining like terms. X squared, there's no other x squared, so bring him down just as he is, 14x squared. Then we have 28x with 14x gives us a positive 42x. And this positive 28 has nobody else to combine with. So just bring him down exactly like he is, plus 28. There's our standard form, ax squared plus bx plus c. And we're going to try the same thing we did with the other one. This is where I give you the original form and ask you to convert it to the other form. But I can also give you a description, and you'll have to write it and then convert it. So if you're given a description and the description's talking about the intercepts, that means go ahead and write it in intercept form. So our intercept form is the a value x minus p, x minus q. Okay. When we look at these x-intercepts, one of them is p and one of them is q. So we're going to substitute them in here and here. And it doesn't mention anything about an a value. It does say it opens up, so that means we're going to be a positive sign out front, but it doesn't mention a stretch or a shrink, so we're going to maintain a 1 out front. It's not changing from what the parent graph would normally be, which is a 1. So we have a plus sign. We don't have to write it because not having a sign there indicates positive. So this says x minus whatever the x-intercept is. The x-intercept is -5. So x minus -5 becomes x plus 5. And this is x minus whatever the other x-intercept is, which is +1. So x minus +1 becomes x minus 1. Okay. Now we're in intercept form. We took the description and we wrote it in intercept form. The question asked for standard form. So this is very much like this situation right here. We need to multiply our binomials together and combine our like terms. So we have x times x, which gives us x squared. X times -1 gives us -x. +5 times x is +5x. And +5 times -1 is -5. Look for like terms. This is x squared, and there's no other x squared, so bring them down. This is really a -1x plus 5x gives you 4x, and then the -5 has nothing to combine with, so he stays as is. Ax squared plus bx plus c. We are in standard form. Hopefully that was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. See you in class.